Rank 1, the intern. You're an intern. Unpaid or close enough to it that the difference is a rounding error. Your actual job title says legal intern, but your real job is coffee runs, jammed printers, and carrying bankers' boxes nobody bothered to label correctly. The first week is a blur of hallways you don't know yet and names you're too afraid to ask twice for. You learn fast that everyone above you is exhausted, and exhaustion doesn't leave much room for patience with someone learning where the bathroom is. On your third day, you're told to organize the archive room, a graveyard of case files stretching back 2 decades, boxes stacked to the ceiling, the smell of old paper and dead fluorescent bulbs. Nobody expects you to actually read any of it. You're just supposed to sort it by year and get out. That's where you find it. A thin folder, edges yellowed, the label half peeled off. State versus Alderman. Wrongful conviction claim. Denied. Case closed 11 years ago. You open it because you're bored, and then you can't close it because you're not anymore. For pages in Something Doesn't Add Up. A single alibi witness who was never called to testify. A police report with a signature that doesn't match the officer's signature anywhere else in the file. Not on the arrest record. Not on the evidence log, nowhere. You mention it at lunch to a second-year associate, half expecting her to be as intrigued as you are. She barely looks up from her salad. Everyone finds one of those their first month, she says. A weird detail, a gut feeling. You'll forget about it by the time you make associate. Everybody does. You want to believe her. It would be easier. But that night, working late for no reason except that you don't want to go home yet, you photocopy 4 pages before your shift ends. You don't tell anyone you did it. You're not even sure why you did. 3 months of internship left. You spend most of them exactly where you're supposed to be. Running errands, proofreading briefs nobody will remember you touched. But some nights, alone in your apartment, you pull those 4 photocopied pages out of a drawer and read them again, like they might say something different the second time. Rank 2, the associate. Bar exam passed on the first attempt, barely, but passed. You walk into the office on your first day as an associate wearing a suit that still has the folding creases in it, and for the first time, people actually introduce themselves to you instead of the other way around. You get assigned your first real case, a shipping contract dispute worth more money than your entire law school debt combined, which is not a small comparison. You work it for 6 weeks straight. Weekends disappear one after another. You learn the unspoken rule of the profession fast. The partners don't want your opinion. They want your citations. Confidence is for people 3 ranks above you, and even then, only in front of clients. You win a smaller case on your own for the first time, a contested lease dispute nobody senior wanted to touch. It's not the kind of case you dreamed about in law school, but standing in that courtroom, hearing the judge rule in your client's favor, you feel something shift. A stranger's life changed in a small way because of a decision you made and defended out loud. That same week, working late again, you pull the alderman file back out, just to check something. You tell yourself. The signature mismatch is still there, exactly the way you remembered it. You run the retired officer's name through a public records database on your own time, off the clock, and find something that makes your stomach drop. He retired the same month the conviction was finalized. No explanation anywhere in the personnel file. No investigation. Just retired, quietly, and never spoken of again. You bring it to a senior associate named Wyatt, hoping he'll see what you see. He listens for exactly as long as it takes him to finish his coffee. "That's not our case," he says, not unkindly. "We don't even do criminal appeals here. Focus on the contract dispute. That's the one that pays your salary and mine." You put the photocopy back in your drawer, the same way you have a dozen times already. But you don't stop thinking about the 11 years that man has already served for a case nobody in this building wants to reopen. Rank 3, the senior associate. Senior associate now. Your name is on filings that actually go out under the firm's letterhead. Clients ask for you specifically, mostly because a partner told them to, but it still counts. You bill 2,400 hours this year, more than you've ever worked in your life, and you can recite opposing counsel's tendencies before they've even sat down at the table. You take your first real case to trial, a contested custody dispute that keeps you up more nights than the shipping contract ever did, and you win it. Not because you outmaneuvered anyone, because you prepared harder than the other side thought you would. For the first time, a family's entire situation is different because of a decision you made in a room full of people twice your age. That same month, you finally do something about the alderman file that goes beyond photocopies in a drawer. You track down the man's name, Marcus Alderman, still serving his sentence at the state penitentiary, 11 years in with no appeal in motion. You write him a letter, off the record, on your own paper, no firm letterhead anywhere on the page. You don't promise him anything. You just ask if he'd be willing to talk to someone. 3 weeks pass before a reply comes back, in handwriting so careful it looks almost printed. One line, 11 years, and you're the first lawyer who's asked me a real question. You read that line more times than you'd ever admit to anyone at the firm. You start building a file of your own after that, nights, weekends, entirely unofficial, entirely unpaid. Nobody at the firm knows yet. You're not sure you're ready for them to. Rank 4, the junior partner. Junior partner. A bigger office, a slightly better title, and junior associates who now ask you the exact kind of questions you used to ask Wyatt. You run depositions without anyone senior in the room. Partners start saying your name in meetings you're not even invited to, which either means you're rising or you're being watched, and you've learned by now those two things often look identical. You finally bring the alderman case to a partner directly, Diane Castellano, head of the firm's appellate division, 22 years in the building, a reputation for being harder to read than anyone else on the partner floor. You expect her to shut it down in under a minute the way everyone else has. Instead, she reads all 11 pages of your off-the-clock research without looking up once. "This is good work," she finally says. "It's also going to cost the firm money we can't bill for, and political capital we might not have to spend. You understand that?" You tell her you understand. What you don't expect is what she says next. "I had a case like this in my 3rd year. A signature that didn't match. A client nobody wanted to believe. I let a partner talk me out of pursuing it. I've thought about that file for 20 years, and I still don't know what happened to the man in it." She agrees to let you build the appeal properly, nights and weekends still, off billable hours at your own professional risk, but with her name behind you if it ever goes anywhere. For the first time since the archive room, the file isn't just yours anymore. It's something you're allowed to actually build. Rank 5, the senior partner. You make senior partner the same month the alderman appeal finally gets a hearing date on the court calendar. 2 milestones colliding in a way you never planned. Half the office wants to congratulate you on the promotion. The other half wants to know exactly why you're spending firm resources on a case with no paying client attached to it. You stand in an appellate courtroom for the first time, arguing not a contract or a custody arrangement, but 11 years of another man's life laid out across a table. You walk the 3 judges through the signature mismatch, line by line. You walk them through the retired officer with no explanation on record, no investigation, no accountability. You watch judges who have collectively seen thousands of appeals actually lean forward in their seats. The ruling doesn't come that day. It takes 6 weeks of silence that feel longer than the 11 years already served. When it finally arrives, you're standing in the office hallway when Diane hands you the printout without saying a single word. She doesn't have to. Conviction vacated. New trial ordered. You call the number you've had memorized for 2 years straight. Marcus Alderman's mother answers. She doesn't say anything for 11 full seconds. You count every one of them. Then she says, quietly, "Thank you for reading the file. You've won bigger cases by every measure the firm uses to measure success. None of them have ever felt like this." Rank 6, the managing partner, legend of the firm. Decades pass. You've outlasted 3 recessions, 2 mergers, and enough turnover that almost nobody left in the building remembers you as anything other than the managing partner whose name opens every door on every floor. Your office is the corner one now, the one you used to walk past as an intern, wondering who could possibly deserve a view like that. You could have spent this entire career chasing the biggest clients, the largest settlements, a corner office nobody could ever take from you. Instead, the case people still bring up when they say your name isn't the biggest one you ever won. It's the one that started in an archive room, off the clock, with 4 photocopied pages nobody asked you to make. You built a small pro bono appellate unit inside the firm years ago, something that didn't exist before you proved it could work. It doesn't make the firm rich. It makes junior associates request to work under you specifically, the same way you once found any excuse you could to work under Diane. One of them, barely 6 months into her own career, pulls you aside after a briefing last week. "I found something in an old file," she says, almost embarrassed to admit it. "Probably nothing, but I can't stop thinking about it." You recognize the exact look on her face. It's the same one you had standing in that archive room, a lifetime and a dozen ranks ago. Marcus Alderman is 61 years old now, free for 18 years. He still calls the office every year on the anniversary of his release, not to ask you for anything, just to say thank you, the same 3 words, every single year. Late at night, in an office you once thought you'd never be senior enough to deserve, you think about the version of yourself standing in that archive room, unpaid, unsure, convinced nobody with real power would ever care about one forgotten file. You wonder every so often what would have happened if you'd simply put that folder back exactly where you found it. Subscribe for the next rank climb, new POV every week.